approve the bidder that's going to be moving forward on that project. We'll know that when the engineer gets here on that day. So that meeting will be at 4 o'clock. We'll have it advertised. Won't be a long meeting. We're just trying to get some emergency work done before it becomes an issue up there. That's all the announcements I got. You guys got anything? Nope. All right, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? That motion will carry. Committee reports. Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Excuse my voice. The only thing I have for the board tonight is that I've been working with our safety director. Some of the newer SUV Fords. We have a few of them. We have 6 of them. It's all across the country. They've been having issues with carbon monoxide getting into the bottoms of the cars, and we've checked ours out and confirmed that the work that was done on ours, we did not do that. But still, yet be on the safe side, I bought some carbon monoxide detectors inside the car just for safety circumstances. So,
Okay.
just want to let you all know.
Some of them police departments has got major,
Yeah, like in Texas and all that.
Yeah.
Like 400 some cars have about it. So I think
Okay.
we're okay, but we're just on the safety side of it. We put those detectors in there.
very,
Good. Anything else?
That's all I have.
EMS Director Bobby Mills.
Yeah, we got a couple recalls on our 2 newest trucks, and one of them's been taken care of.
Okay.
Do the other one next week. And we're also out at Anchor Glass assisting
Okay.
the guys.
Out there right now?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's all I have.
All right. I don't have anything under new business. Anybody up here have anything?
this doesn't have nothing to do with the Board of Works, but I'd like to congratulate Mario and his son for winning the U.S. Nationals yesterday.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Big win.
Took Mario a while to get to work today, huh?
Maybe a little foggy this morning.
I can imagine. That's what vacation's for, right? That's good. That is good stuff. Old business, Mario Todd, bid opening and award of Ratliff Landing dredging project.
Yes, Your Honor, thank you. We received 4 bids. This would be a rebid. As you know, before we only had 1, and we decided to rebid the project.
Let me preface this one. You know, the last time we had this, I made the comment about this being a large project. We wanted to make sure we had multiple bids. But before we open the bids, we're going to open the bids tonight, but before we open them, I want to make this comment. I think it would be, and correct me if I'm wrong, and it'll be up to these guys here, but we need to do our due diligence. This is a project that involves dredging, okay, the channel down at Tanner's Creek. That's what we're looking at here. I don't know how many companies out there have done this in the past. But I think it would, based upon their previous references and things like that, that all needs to be checked out. And we want to make sure that we're not just paying somebody to come in and pull a bunch of soot out, or silt, I guess you call it, and then we're back doing this again in a year. We want to make sure that we're not throwing good money after bad on this particular project. And with that said, I just want to make it known before we open any bids, because we'll take a look at every bid, but we need to take a look at. That's my opinion. I don't know how you guys feel, but I think it would be worth our while to do the references and things like that. Is that acceptable or? Experience, have they done it before, right? I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's all involved. I'm not the expert, but I just want to make sure we do it right first time. Everybody okay with that?
Yep.
Okay,
Very good.
go ahead.
The first one would be from Utter Construction.
Utter?
Utter,
U-T-T-E-R?
correct. The Utter, yes.
The Utter.
The lump sum amount, $228,362.
228, what, 362?
328,362.
328.
No, 228.
228?
62.
I'm sorry.
200,000, 362.
Okay, I got you now. Sorry about that.
It's okay.
Big numbers, you know. They're big numbers.
And we will go through the packet to make sure it does conform with all the specs and standards that were asked.
Okay.
The next one is from the Tom Gearing Group. Gearing Group's bid is $553,331,000.
Okay, next. How many total bids we got? 4? 5?
Let me check that. Is that his bond amount? Bear with us 1 second, Trent. We'll hold that for that amount. That was the Gearing Group.
Okay. Next.
Next is Titan Real Estate Group.
Real estate group?
Correct.
Doing.
For the sum of $311,000 even.
Okay. And number 4.
Next is Angels Excavating. Angels lump sum, $195,031.25. $195,031.25.
All right. Okay. Like I said, I don't know that I'd want to take any action tonight until we check references, check their past experience with this, whatever. If you guys okay with that?
Want me make a motion to do that?
Yeah, I mean, and another thing, if you look at, I mean, there's, we got 195 all the way up to 553, so we need to make sure that we're all looking at the same channel down there as well, so. But yeah, I'd like to have a motion.
I'll make a motion that, until, the experience of the bidders have been looked into, that, no bids are accepted, and it's brought back for a final vote, say at the next meeting.
Okay. All right, can I get a second?
Got a question.
Yes.
Like most of it, but I want to make sure, are we going to get an interview? Because I got questions. I got questions on the process. So experience is very important, but I also would like that interview. Can we add an interview to it?
Yeah, I'd say, I mean, if you want to interview all four, just,
I can,
the two lowest, or what do you want to do?
I think the two lowest.
All right.
Happy with it.
I'd like to ask a question, too, some questions on that. Why are we doing it? Is this for the second ramp, the newest ramp?
This is for both ramps.
Both ramps, the whole channel.
The newest ramp doesn't even work.
No, this is for the other one too, because it's very shallow as well.
And I,
The old one, Tony.
Well, I just don't understand, because that, ever done before? Has that ever been dredged there before?
No.
That boat ramp's been there for 70 years, it's never been,
But the old
it's
one,
always worked.
oh, the old one's been dredged before, but it's been.
Well, we dredged it when we built the new one.
It's been 20 years ago or more.
When the new one was built.
The Corps actually come down and dredged, when they dredged the creek all the way out to the mouth, because you couldn't get out the mouth of the creek.
But to answer your question, this is the first time the city of Lawrenceburg has
Oh, yeah.
spent the money to dredge
So it's ours now, back then it belonged to the state, didn't it?
to the core.
Oh, the Corps.
Yes.
The Corps.
And also keep in mind, I think there's a little bit of different channel action going on now that Tanner Creeks has been decommissioned. Because some of their intake water, their non-contact water, the inflow and outflows probably
Created,
keep some of that stuff clean.
Correct.
It's not happening now.
part of what I would consider the interview process would be asking if we can find an expert in this group, asking them what they thought. What do you think of our project? What do you think of our specs? Maybe they might say, you're wasting your time, or they might have a different idea. But I mean, your question's a valid one, Tony. That's why I don't want to just jump into it. If these guys, and I know one of these people does a lot of dredging, so I value their opinion. I want them to go with the depth finder, look at that, take into consideration what Owen just said, and I want to know what they think should be done. Because there's not no sense in doing this unless it's going to work. So, yeah, if we could arrange for an interview and to check the packets, and make sure we have all that, I'll second the motion.
Okay, so the motion on the floor is to not approve, not award the bid tonight but to follow up with an interview of the two lowest bidders, which would be Angel Excavating, is that right? And Utter,
Utter?
and then proceed from there. Is that what you're saying, guys?
Sure.
Okay. We got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Thanks, guys. The next item under old business is the Speedway restroom, the revised Speedway restroom engineer's estimate. You got that?
Yes,
Mario,
Your Honor,
too?
I'm sorry. The restroom, I think, was tabled back a couple months ago, and we came with some pricing. At that time, I think the board would like to revisit some engineers' costs. So what they did was actually kind of downsize, cut some of the amenities off the restroom. Brought it back for the boards either to pursue the route we're going or just kind of drop the whole idea and stay with the portalets.
Well, hell, I've been watching it all summer. They got 4 portalets handling all that. I know we got a reputation of putting Cadillacs in everywhere. This is all the way in the back. It's in a flood-prone area. I don't want to drop it because I do feel like it's a good project, and I do feel like that when you put that much money in a racetrack, you need to upkeep it. And I think the one thing I have been paying attention to is that pit area is very crowded.
Sure it is.
There's a lot of people back there. So I would like to recommend, I would like a little bit of help from our utility director to see if he can't help us a little bit, but it's a small thing. But option 3 is what I would like to recommend. And I'd like to recommend that we move forward and let Rizzo's team draw this up, and get it moving, because I'd like to have it open for the spring. I'd like to see this thing being worked on this fall and this winter.
Okay.
Now, what I'm hoping I can talk Mr. Clausen into doing is we've got some utilities that are gonna be a pretty big chunk of that. So I'm hoping you can do a material share with us and possibly install on labor, and we'll pay for material, but I'd like you to think about it.
I believe, Mr. Mayor, this is what you talked with me a
Yes.
little bit, yeah. So, I'll take a look at all the options. What the city can expect for us to do is to cover all of the materials, all the ancillary items, through being billed, and we'll absorb the wages.
That's a big deal, really. I think it's a good project, Mario.
So Paul, if I understand it, per this option, if we can stay within that engineer's range of cost there, pursuant these specs, or should say guidelines of fixtures and finishings, you want to,
Well, what this'll do, what I'm envisioning my motion doing is having them draw it up, they'll put it out for bid, and that bid will come back and then come back to the board, Kelly.
Yeah.
For just like we just got through with on the dredging, right?
correct?
I mean, that's what I expect.
Yeah, because this was just engineer's estimate.
Correct.
Right.
Correct.
But I'd like to move forward with that option.
Okay.
And then, when they bid it, depending on Owen's decision there, we could take, I would like for the contractor to bid it 5 feet outside the building. In other words, utilities would bring us within 5 foot of the building. That's pretty standard practice. And I think that'll help us on our price.
We can.
And that would be in the location that we discussed, option 1
Yeah.
on that site.
Same location we're talking about, but just, you want option 3?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, so the motion on the floor is to go forward with engineer's estimate option 3 in the same location, but to, when the bids go out, just to have it bid 5 foot from the building. Right? Utilities will take the rest, okay. All right, that's a motion. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. All right, I have no other old business. I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
Can we go back to the whole business real
Sure.
quick? This is a couple things. One for maybe Mario can answer. On the, turning on the Pribble Circle up there, I brought it up a couple meetings ago. Is anything, I mean, can they just throw some coal patch or something, tamp it down or something?
We can put some cold mix just on a temporary, but it's gonna get a permanent paved at that location.
Because we're getting, I'm the people that live on Pribble, and some of the people that are have to go to Pribble Road, or I walk my dog in the evenings and everything, and I'm getting stopped by people saying, can you have them put something in there? And I keep telling them I brought it up, but,
We can act on it. We've kinda held off until we get Pribble done, but we can, if Owen's permission, we can cover that valve. It's kind of a cluster right there. Valve
The
cluster.
valve cluster that's on the south end of that roadway?
Correct. If we can just go kinda bury it for a temporary till we get the Pribble done.
Let me find out, because operationally, if we have a problem, I just don't want to commit to something, then we have to get an emergency and go dig it up.
I mean, even if you was to leave just that hole and not that big
Dip.
dip
Well, the
in
dip
there.
itself, there's like 3 valves, Olin, within about a
Yeah.
3-foot radius. So, I mean, it'll probably have about 2 inches of mix over top of it. As far as finding it, I
Let
mean,
me just get with Andy, because
Okay.
that's, you know, that's our big tank sitting there, and I don't want to say, yeah,
This
go
would be a
cover up
Pribble
a valve
Circle.
that's
This would be at Pribble Circle.
so further up then.
Correct.
This would be, yeah, Pribble Circle where
I'm
it,
sure we can figure
where it
something
goes
out.
around to Pribble Road. It's right on 48.
Yeah, I'm sure we can figure something out, Mario. I want to verify with Andy
Okay.
first that we don't have, not cause ourselves a problem.
And then one other thing too, I wanted to ask you about, how long are we looking at on the Pribble Road, project as far as the utilities and everything, and then to where they can start doing the blacktop?
Well, we're working every chance we get to get that fixed. The electrical piece underground and the utilities won't interfere with the storm drain and the water line project. But I'd say we're a couple of weeks at minimum out, probably 4 weeks.
Okay, because I've been trying to explain to the people that live in that little stretch there, you know, that once they got into it and you started putting utilities in, you decided to do a little bit extra work, which
Yeah.
is gonna make it better for them. And, and then they found out that there's a problem with the blacktop, they're gonna have to basically take it out, redo everything, so it's gonna be a little longer than at first, the 2
Yeah,
weeks
it
that I
will
told
be.
them. So I just wanted to try to give them an idea on the utilities and then what the final projection.
What we can do too
5 or
is,
6
as we
weeks or
get
something.
closer to it, we can put in our monthly newsletter, we can update some information in there and kind of give people an idea of our time frame. I'm cautious to do that, so they don't hold our feet to the fire on exact, but we can let them know kind of where we're at in the process and that we're working on.
And I can kind of explain it to them too. That's where I walk my dog now that it's closed, so, and they asked me, so I'm just trying to give them an update once in a while.
The whole gist of, I mean, we're just, and you were here, we're just trying to do the Pribble Road project the right way going back, instead of having to go back in another 2-3 years to redo or to do what we should have done the first time. So that's why we had the change order, and that's why we,
Yeah, I do think the residents will be very pleased with what they end up with through
Yeah.
that stretch.
I was explaining to them, you know, everything that's gonna happen, what it's gonna look like when it's over, and they're very tickled with that part of it, so.
okay,
Kelly, I got a question for you.
Yes.
If I want some explanations on the claims and vouchers, should I wait till council or ask now?
for the Board of Works claims?
Yeah.
No, you asked those now.
Okay, here's what I got. First one will be, Mario. Do we have retainage on the tennis court coating fellow that we're getting ready to pay?
I believe we do. I'd have to check with the girls at the office.
Well, I don't want to approve this unless I know for sure we do, because it's bubbling, it's peeling, and there's some bad spots.
Okay.
And I want to make sure we got retainage, and quite a bit of it.
Okay.
So I'd like you to go up and look at it and see what you think around all the poles. It's like it isn't bonding to the old surface. So if you look along the edges and then where you walk in the gates, I think there needs to be some work done.
Okay.
The other one, we've got 2 checks going to the tree expert people that, I know that's the management of our trees. We're not, where are we at with that project? Because we haven't even got all the trees cut down and ground yet, but it seems like we're paying them a lot. Could
Well,
somebody explain?
The ones with the Davies folks, that is per the assessment and a survey. So, I mean, that's continued on. They're actually put a summary together.
That's for the city.
Correct.
That's the assessment we're talking about there. Paul.
Right, and there's 2 of those. There's right on top of each other. We've got a check for 17,600 and 10,000 on page 7.
Brandy, do you have a comment?
It's actually one invoice, we just paid it out of 2 lines, so it looks like 2 checks.
So it's $27,000 in one invoice. Okay.
And we had a
that's just
$25,000 grant for that.
Correct.
We had a
Okay.
$25,000 grant.
for- Like I said, I just wanted to explain.
Sure.
And then, unsafe building, I know it has something to do with the fire, but it says fire damage, Center Street, $7,700 to Freedom Development.
Yes.
What's that?
That was to repair the roof to the house next door.
Okay. So we didn't have insurance, we just needed to pay it.
It wouldn't cover it.
That's fine.
It wouldn't cover the building next door. It covered our building.
Covered
we
our,
had, yeah.
not the,
We asked them though, Paul, we asked sites and they wouldn't cover it.
Right.
We tried to get them to cover it.
We felt we needed to put it back the right way, of course, but
I appreciate it, and I want to note that this is the first administration to do that, because I know it's happened in the past, and the people next door got stuck with their own repairs.
really.
So, absolutely. So I thank you for taking care of the neighbors.
And on that note, we have tree trimming to do yet for those folks, the adjacent house.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when you see that claim, that's what
Okay.
that's about.
That's all I got, so I guess my motion, the only problem I have with is can I approve to claim these as long as we have the proper amount of retainage on the tennis court?
Do you know if we do, Brittany?
If you give me the number, I can pull it right now. We have
What's
You can pull the
number?
claim.
I guess good glasses.
And Paul, I can meet you in the morning up there. We still have warranty on all that material.
Okay, okay.
the highlighted one.
Council.
Let's just hold off and see. I guess it's gonna get,
Did I keep it?
Yeah, this is to pay the full amount.
okay.
I mean, I'd like, for what I've seen, I mean, I would vote to approve 10,000 tonight, but they're gonna have some work to do. I ain't one that likes to pay people when they got things to fix.
we can make that part of your motion, and all we have to do is change. Have the checks gone out?
No.
Okay. So, yeah.
I would like to make a recommendation to approve all claims and vouchers except the one from Leslie Coatings.
Okay.
I recommend that we pay $10,000 and hold back $3,250 until work is satisfactory, I
Okay.
should say.
How much did you say hold back?
$32.50.
$3,250.
Okay. All right. Can I get a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Need a motion to adjourn? Second? Oh, I'm sorry, Mario.
There is calendar quotes, I guess we're going to do, should come up in this board and not the
Huh.
council.
Oh, it's put on council?
Yes.
Oh, I got you. Sorry about that. Let's move back to, that's old business, wasn't it? Or new
Correct.
business?
It probably bring it up under old business. I
Yeah.
think it was asked for.
All right, let's do that. We didn't adjourn. How many you got, Mario?
Have two.
Okay.
The
Calendar.
first one, the registered publication.
Who, register?
Correct.
Okay.
Total price, $5,894 even.
Okay. Who's this one from?
Prider Photography. Total cost, $9,845.
Okay. So you know, this year, LCD wants to be a participant in our calendar at a third? I think it is, third, they're gonna pay for a third of the price, they get a third of the pictures.
Oh, okay.
But, just tidbit of information for people, but,
I'd like to make another suggestion.
yep,
Do have a bit of a committee. I believe Carrie and Kelly and me and Chelsea. I would like to give those two an interview with that committee
okay,
and then come back to the board at the next meeting recommending that. I mean, is that fair? Because it's kind of artistic, creative, and I just think it should be judged on more than just a number. And I don't want to sell anybody short. I mean, is that okay with you?
well, it's fine with me, it's your guys' decision, but,
Well,
yeah, I mean, I think if you can get them both in for,
I mean, last year I went a direction, but I don't want to give the other person a chance not to show us what they can do.
Sure.
So if I could, if we can do that, I'd appreciate it.
okay. All right, so the motion on the floor is to, interview, I guess, the committee will interview both of the calendar, bid folks,
Yeah.
and not approve anything tonight. Correct?
Correct.
Okay. And you guys will set up those interviews or work with Carrie
I
and,
can talk to Carrie.
yeah, okay.
Do that.
All right. Do I have a second? All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. Now I entertain a motion to adjourn. Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Opposed? Motion will carry. Parks and Playgrounds, as soon as we're seated.
Thanks, sir.
Oh, thanks.
Okay, I'd like to call to order the Lawrenceburg Parks and Playgrounds meeting for September 5th, 2017. Roll call, please.
Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis. Here. Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Dal Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen. President Kelly Milan.
Here.
And myself.
All right. Any announcements? I have none. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. New business, I have one. I was asked by the youth ambassadors from CASA. They are, during Red Ribbon Week, which is in October, they do different things every year relating to drug and alcohol, tobacco use. And I'll just read the small paragraph, what they're doing this year, what they are asking to do. This is their plan for this year. It's related to Sasquatch. Everybody knows who Sasquatch is, right? We always see him up in Bright or something, I don't know. But anyway, it says the Squatch Out drug plan is as follows. We will hide 8-foot weather-sealed cardboard Sasquatches all over the county in public places with drug, alcohol, educational facts, and info on them. Anyone can pick up a gone squatching, bear with me here, sheet, a gone squatching sheet, where they have to write down the facts they find on the squatches along a coordinating number or sponsor. Once their hunt sheet is full, they can turn in the completed sheet for a chance at a family prize pack valued at over $250. What this is just a contest that they want to sponsor, and they will be utilizing our parks as well as some other parks, but they wanted to get permission in case we see an 8-foot Sasquatch in our park. Cardboard, of course. So don't get your guns out or anything. Anyway, I entertain a motion to accept that request.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second.
Any questions? I think it's pretty neat idea, but anyway, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. All right, thank you, and I know they'll thank you as well. I don't have any other new business. I don't know if anyone else does. Old business. No, I don't think we won't need to take any action on the Speedway restroom since oh wait, I guess we do. Because we got to approve some money, don't we? Okay. Mario, Speedway revised restroom.
I think the members were present for the discussion at the Board of Works. If you want to make a motion to continue on, we'll probably have to do appropriation if we're going to meet the time frame.
Right. Okay. Any questions regarding that, guys?
I'd like to hear it all over again.
Oh, I bet you would. Always a funny one.
Well, Tony, we started back in...
All right, I'll entertain a motion to move forward with the Speedway restroom project.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Any other old business? If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. I need a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Utility Board. I'd like to call to order the Lawrenceburg Utility Board meeting for September 5th, 2017. Can I get a roll call for this, please?
Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Member Randy Abner. Here. Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
City Attorney Dale Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
President Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
All right, entertain any announcements? Olin?
No, I'll cover everything under committee reports.
Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting. Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. Committee reports?
I passed out, kind of at the beginning of the meeting, a sheet from Land Consultants. I would like to schedule a work session with the Utility Service Board to talk about about this piece of property. I've looked it up, I've got out and driven by it and looked to see where our services are being provided. We currently have two types of service that are in close proximity to the property. One of them being electric, it comes right up to the property, and sewer is immediately across the street. A concern that I have is technically, we require people to hook onto our sewer if they're within 300 feet. This property wouldn't be any different from that, except there's 25 homes. And so the capacity on that line is an issue that we need to talk about. And I don't necessarily think just because it's inconvenient for us that the capacity issue should be the developer's problem, if that makes sense. Otherwise, if it were one home, we'd say, hey, we're requiring you to hook up. So I'd like to have a discussion in a work session to how to approach this property. We're not the people who provide water to it.
Okay.
But that could be something that we could do. But I just think we need to work through it in a work session.
Okay. Need an hour, or you need 2?
Hour's fine.
Okay. We'll get something set and we'll get it out to everybody and see if it works for everybody's schedule. Will that work for everybody? This is this 56 acres is obviously on the county side of.
It's in the county side, yeah.
Okay.
It does fall within the scope of one of the projects we've kind of talked about that kind of helps the counties issue out the sewering of certain parts of the unincorporated areas. So luckily it falls within that, and it just happens to align with some of the engineering work that we've done to date. But some of those things are probably 2 years out, a year out at the very minimum, and would probably cause issue with this development taking place.
Okay.
And so something that we can do during the interim, I think would be appropriate, as I don't think, 25 homes from the utility side point of view is fantastic to have. It's what we look for. And I just think it's a good conversation for us to have.
Okay. Sure. We can put something together. Any questions about that right now, or if not yet, any new business?
I've just got an update for you. I expect to have this by the 8th, both sets of drawings to solicit for bid, those being the data center and also our fiber backbone. Last I was told it would be the 8th. I think I've related that to you all, and that hasn't changed. I'm expecting to get that stuff any day now, if not sooner. Once we do it, we'll go to bid. Those bids will come back, whatever the time frame is, I'll let you all know. And then we'll have a bid opening here at one of the next council meeting.
Okay.
We'll have Bobby speakers up, right?
Bobby speakers will be up, yes. Thank you, that reminds me. We will be completing the lights on High Street. So the guys, we've got all the materials in, except for just a couple things we're waiting on. We will be completing the lights on High Street.
We're enlarging our
they'll be done
car lot.
before Fall Fest. This includes 4 additional speakers, outside speakers with Wi-Fi access points, and a place for you to hot mic into it, so as you broadcast your car show stuff, it'll come over the entire system. On that note, we're working with the high school to include in our downtown speaker system a simultaneous broadcast of the games as they occur. So not the one over the radio, but from the announcer stand, the gentleman behind who's fabulous.
Matty Albright.
So he would be directly over the speaker system downtown. People walking around would hear the score and see what's happening, locally at the school. So I think that's a neat thing. We're working with the schools on that. And when we kind of complete some of those things, I'll report back.
Just a quick update also on the arch at the beginning of Walnut Street. We've been waiting on getting the bids back, I guess, and we got those, I think.
Correct.
about getting a contractor to paint, or to do the rust removal and paint, and then we had the lighting that we approved. We're trying to push this to get it done before Fall Fest, so it's going to take some cooperation in the next three weeks, but hopefully might be able to get that accomplished. But that's just a quick update on that as well. Any other?
No, sir.
business?
That's it.
Old business?
I have none.
Okay. If not, I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. I'll call to order the City of Lawrenceburg Council meeting for September 5th, 2017. Everybody rise for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, could I get a roll call, Mr. Rainey?
Member Tony Abbott.
Here.
Member Aaron Cook.
Here.
Member Mel Davis.
Here.
Member Randy Abner.
Here.
Member Paul Seymour Jr.
Here.
Police Chief Don Combs. Fire Chief Johnny Tremaine. EMS Director Bobby Mills. City Attorney Dal Weldon.
Here.
Utility Director Olin Clausen.
Present.
Mayor Kelly Malone.
Here.
And myself.
Okay, announcements, board reports, streets, alleys, and curbs. Mr. Aaron Cook.
No report unless Tony has something about the usual. No, but I do have one thing. Okay. Walking over here today, some lady asked me about the sidewalk on Short Street in front of the church. Have we done any work there? She said they ran a gas line or water line right over here.
Beecher, in front of Beecher?
It is a
Around it.
gas line, and there's a tree that created some issues there also.
No, she's in a wheelchair and she says it's real hard for her to get over the sidewalk because they just filled it up with gravel.
Yeah, I'm not aware of that one.
Can we get on them to pour some cement on the sidewalk?
Correct. Well, we're probably going to end up pulling that tree, and it probably is going to be a shared patch. The tree actually has it heaved up quite a bit.
When will that be, though?
Well, we're putting together a patch list now for all the concrete.
So that might be, well, I couldn't temporarily cement it there or something?
Well, we're hoping October to have them before we go in the winter.
Well, that's 2 months, that's 2 months for the woman going over the sidewalk in a wheelchair. I would rather temporarily patch it.
If you
If
give
we
me
can.
directions to patch it, I'll patch it, sir.
Well, the other thing I'd like to add to that, Tony, is we need our civil city and people that can work with the utilities, because when we did the humps in the alleys, I, for the life of me, don't understand why we didn't patch the roads. The lack of communication there cost us money. We've got some open gravel areas in the street and the alley out by St. Clair Street, and we did the humps. We could have got that done while the guy was there, so
Two separate contractors.
I don't care. We could.
Well, I mean, I'm just saying, that's the reason. One was for the bid was for the humps, and we've actually awarded the contract to Street Patch, went out earlier this year.
But we
To
just
the road
cut,
company.
we just cut holes in the alley a month ago. So I don't know why we can't go to a guy, and it makes sense to me that, we got a 6 foot long, 4 foot wide hole in the alley, and we're pouring asphalt there. I don't know why we wouldn't have took advantage and said, hey, how much you charge me to do these 2 spots? Because you're never gonna get them done any cheaper than that. We are one city. I don't care whether it's utility, civil city, or what, but we gotta communicate better than that. We need to get things done smart, too. Are we gonna get our patching done before winter on what we cut in the streets?
Yeah, anything that utilities has got outstanding, we generally don't coordinate the work. We do pay for the work once it's done, but if we need to have a follow-up conversation, we can.
Well, I'd like to, I know we're gonna try to shoot for it before it all gets winter, that's all.
When do those asphalt plants shut down?
November.
Unless,
I'm not shooting for asphalt right now, I'm shooting for some cement. I don't wanna tell this,
I
I don't wanna
wanna
tell this lady that she's gotta wait 60 days, she's gonna keep rolling over gravel. Can the civil city do it? I mean, it's not,
Take care of it.
yeah, they can get it.
all right.
All right, you'll get on it tomorrow. Check into it. Anything else, Tony?
No,
All right, how about finance, Mr. Abbott?
it all looks good.
Parks and Playgrounds, Mr. Seymour Jr.?
Yeah, a little bit. Speedway fence project, where are we at with that?
Due to start next week.
Oh, good, okay. Got a question. This is kind of a sore subject. Kiosk ain't working yet.
I wish you wouldn't bring that up. I hate that word.
I want Mr. Weldon to send a letter out to the person that I want it working in a month, or I want our money back.
I spoke with,
I pushed that, I did everything in the world I could to get a local business, and the guy made me look bad. I'm done with him.
I spoke with David Snyder, who was working with Pat over this, and that's exactly what Dave has recommended us doing.
Well, we also, we brought up to Nexigen. We took a little field trip last week over to Covington, over to Nexigen, who is doing our IT in the city now. They have kiosks. They know what they're, okay?
Well,
I asked them to come over and assess ours, to see what needs to be done. What we're waiting on right now evidently is it has to be hardwired because it keeps losing connectivity, all right? They put us in contact with a company that can do the hardwiring. So that's where it stands right now. The rest of it, obviously, the other work is done, so to speak, on the software end of it, as far as we know. But we're just waiting to do the hardwiring. You're right.
Well, here's the thing with me, Kelly, is it seems like we're just putting more money into it, we need this, oh, no, we're gonna need to do this, oh, we're gonna need to do this. I mean, this is how long's this been going on?
Bought brand new ones.
A while, but let me do this
I would like
too.
some kind of guarantee from that company saying, we hardwire it, it's gonna work.
Well, you bought used kiosks, guys. We bought 3 used kiosks. We paid $37,000 for 3 used kiosks. We paid $24,000 for the software. I asked Nexigen, I said, hey, what could you get me for these kiosks? And he said that maybe 15 grand a piece. If he can do that, I would recommend us selling them and get our money back and go and buy a new kiosk from a reputable company like Nexigen that we know that will get the service up and running when we install the piece of equipment.
Well, I only want to change that a little bit.
Change it.
I say we take the 3 kiosks out. I love your idea, except for selling them. I want them delivered to the guy's place along with a letter from our lawyer that we want our money back.
Okay, I know what you're saying, but there's two people involved here, two different, there's a person that owned the kiosks.
We only made a deal with one person. He made the deal with the other one.
Well, okay, but, the problem has been on the software end. That's what I've been told. I'm just relaying what I know. I hate that word. Trust me.
All right.
I mean, I really do.
Well, when they were sold to us, the software was the easiest part of it.
And then they claim that, Google made a change and it messed up the whole lunar eclipse or something. I don't know. So I can't answer all that, but it's been a cluster from the beginning.
I'd feel pretty guilty if I sold them things to somebody for $15,000.
I wouldn't. They say they're worth it. People use them as boat anchors, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, that's what I would use it for. But we're still, anyway, we know where you're going with this, okay? You got anything else?
No, I'm on.
All right.
Good with that.
How about fire, Randy Abner?
This month, the fire department's going to be doing fire prevention at the schools. Johnny sent me a text on that, by the way, in the middle of the fire.
Okay.
Also, I was talking to the EMS director and the chief here the other day at the firehouse. There was a lot of traffic going through the firehouse like we've had before, coming off of Walker, cutting through the firehouse. Is there something, maybe we could put a speed bumps or something, a couple bumps in that area to slow the traffic down? Because I believe you've had some traffic issues over there,
And we've had traffic issues.
near hits back in there.
Yes,
Your Honor.
coming way through there.
Yes.
Well, that's serious.
Instead of a speed bump, there's supposed to be no traffic through there, it's private property. Just put a police officer over there for a day or two and give them a ticket or put them in jail, one of the two, doesn't make any difference to me.
Put a gate
You mean
in.
our EMS people?
Not the EMS people, the people cutting through.
Might give us a break.
They do have some issues over there. We've had it, since the building's been over there, we've
Well,
had
the
issues
speed
with
bump's not gonna
people
stop
cutting
people
through there.
from going.
There is
through.
not supposed to be traffic through there, correct?
It says no out, there's a sign there on Walker says no outlet.
And they come on through.
It doesn't say like private property or anything like that, I mean, so they wouldn't know.
No, they're just gonna truck.
What if we post signs, no through traffic or something?
So, there's so many people so used to that, but they'll still go.
Say that,
I'm sorry?
Are they coming down what
So
looks
many
like an
people
alley?
so used to Walker Street, going
Goes
through.
into your,
Yeah, but it isn't the street.
the whole neighborhood does it over there.
It's like driving through my driveway to get to the neighbor's house. That's not allowed.
Your Honor.
It's used a lot.
Go ahead, Mario.
If you're gonna use speed humps, bumps, tables, or whatever.
Stop sticks.
Stop sticks or whatever, I'd recommend, again, the portable, removable type. We can stick them down, see if it works.
You know we don't use those anymore.
I've got a garage full of them that we need to.
You know what? He's trying to use
Let's do that initially. Put a couple of those out there, see how it works, see where it goes. How's that? You guys okay with that?
I'm fine, but the fire trucks aren't gonna like them big old speed things.
They're just, well, trucks ain't, they
I got a better
Could
idea.
do.
I'll just quit doing it. Y'all can drop it, because I'm probably the biggest culprit of the whole thing. I'll just go a different way.
I'm blaming Mr. Seymour on this one.
take the alley. The speed hump.
Put some portables out there for now.
Will do.
I went on record, I didn't ask for this speed hump.
You didn't, did you?
No, I did not.
That's amazing.
I hear you. That's all.
All right, I've got a couple to talk about here. We got a work session Thursday night at 4:30 for budget work session, right here. I wanted to let everybody know that Mr. Boggs, who owns the tattoo parlor up here on High Street, contacted my office today and just wanted everybody to know that they're accepting donations for hurricane relief as well. I would like to, I've been approached by our staff and other people in the city to see what we could possibly do as a city. And don't laugh at my idea, because I'm not very creative, but I did come up with this. So anyway, you can shoot it down if you'd like. But anyway, we got, in 2 weeks, we have a homecoming, I believe, over here at the football stadium. What I'm proposing is we, as a city, we would donate, you guys name the price, $500 per touchdown scored, and we call it Touchdowns for Texas.
How good is Franklin County?
Not very, not very.
Would that
They're
be,
actually good. They're
would
pretty
that be
good.
just for our team or both teams?
Well, that's up to you guys.
Whatever you want to do.
What, you could do it just for the Tigers, or you can do both. It's up to you. I mean, at the end of the day, it's not, I mean, in this grand scheme of things, it's not, we'll be fine. But I just think we need to do something to show support. And that was just the best thing I could come up with on short notice, so, sorry.
I agree, Mayor, and I think it ought to be for the Tigers. That'll give them some incentive to score a bunch of touchdowns.
Okay?
Maybe they'll score 20.
Well, never know. They're capable. So is that a motion we're getting?
It is.
So the motion on the floor is to donate $500 per touchdown scored by the Tigers during homecoming to the hurricane relief.
I say both teams.
Okay, Well, we didn't get a second then yet, Mel.
Yeah, but if we do both teams, that gives the other team incentive too.
It puts more money in Texas's pocket too, though,
But it is Franklin County.
for them, yeah. It's going.
How good are they, Logan?
It's going to.
Any idea,
They're
Emma?
good this year, aren't they?
We'll beat them, right? It may be a defensive game, then nobody wins.
But it's always going to a
I'll
good
go on with
cause.
both teams.
Okay. So the motion on the floor is to pay $500 per touchdown scored by either team during the football game at homecoming.
I'll make that motion.
Mel made the motion.
I'll second that
Mel
motion.
seconded the
Yeah.
motion. All those in favor, say aye.
Modified.
I hear an aye. Anybody? Opposed? Motion will carry. I will contact the school and let them know so they can get it announced, and I'm sure council will be very well thanked. So, okay, and the last issue, I got a call from a councilman over the weekend, and we have already done our due diligence, checking it out with the police department. The parking garage, ever since we've opened it up, well, even before that, to being free, I mean, everything's going well. Don't get me wrong. I mean, places staying cleaned, people are, respecting the area, but we're getting more and more vehicles, and now it's campers, and people parking in there long-term. And we didn't do this to make it a long-term parking for people. What we did early on when we took the parking garage over and opened it up, supposedly, there were a few people in there parking. They had an agreement with Tri-State Parking at the time for $15 a month or something. We never could find those agreements, okay? And they may have been paying them, I don't know. So anyway, what I want to do is get some direction from you guys on what you want us to do with this. We've had the police department run plates over there 2 or 3 times already, because we try to keep an eye on, how much is it expanding. I make trips through there I know every Saturday morning, I come through town, and probably once or twice during the week before I come to work. And I've noticed there's additional people utilizing that. I don't know if we have a lot of liability to that, but I just don't know that it's the right message to be sending. If we're either going to let anybody do it, or we're not going to let anybody.
Yeah, I was gonna bring all the stuff from my shed down there and stuff.
Yeah, I figured you might.
And clean it out. I can pull my boat down there. It'd be
Yes.
nice.
So, I mean, I'm open, you guys give me some discussion, or give me a direction.
I would say no
Length of time
long-term,
to park in that area.
no long-term parking
For anything,
for anything.
Whether it be
This is for
cars,
business.
motorcycles, campers, boats, golf carts.
Yeah, I would say like a 48-hour limit or something, because some people might be staying at the hotel where they're not leaving, they might be doing something in town, but
Exactly.
I mean, I wouldn't just like till one day, like 48 hours or so.
And it's normally in one area of the parking.
That's right when you
garage.
pull in, you gotta see it, usually.
Yeah.
Like all those cars with the covers, and like you said, the pop-up camper, and,
Because I know that Ivy Tech's got 3 or 4 cars that they're school cars
yeah,
that they keep in
yeah,
there.
they have the
That's
plates
fine,
on
but-
them, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I mean, I'll take, so you give me some direction, we'll run to get the plates ran. Go ahead, Mooch.
There's somebody that's gonna be staying at the hotel for if it's gonna,
Well, they do, they're parked in a different spot anyway. These vehicles and stuff are parked in a pretty, a spot that we know of. But,
We know who the problems are, don't we?
well, we've run the plates, I
We
mean,
just notify them and just say, hey, it's not a storage facility, you have 48 hours to remove it, and then we'll do it.
well, could I give them a week or so, because some folks may have to make some arrangements. Some people have been doing this for many years. And I don't want to throw, I didn't want to throw a monkey wrench, but when I start getting contacted by you guys and others, I mean, I got to react to it, so
Could we put some signage up?
we sure can.
Also,
Yeah, Mario can take care of the signage, but, and I think it would be, we would put in there, no longer than 48-hour parking or something like to that.
Because even if they were there longer, they could just move their car over a spot, I mean, if they're staying at the hotel, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But we will notify, we'll run the plates again, and notify the folks. It'll be a letter from my office, I guess, so I'll get all the Facebook crap, but that's okay. But we'll get it taken care of. We just wanted some direction on that, so you guys are all on the same page. All right. That's all I have for announcements. I'll entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the previous meeting.
So move.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Committee reports, Police Chief Donnie Combs.
Thank you, Mayor. Speaking of homecoming, we want to help them next Friday getting across 50. They're going to start a CES. I got a call today.
When exactly is homecoming?
15.
The 15th, okay. Thank you.
They line up at 5:15, something like that.
I think it's 5:30.
5:30. We'll get them across there.
Yeah.
We're going to Arts and Crafts this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure they're allowed to park at the old Urban Plaza right there. Want to help them. We got our lit sign. We want to direct the cars to
Okay.
park there. I guess they get pretty busy there. Want to help them on that. That's this Sunday.
Okay.
And our K-9s were very active this past weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Monday night. All three of them had captured someone different.
Wow.
Friday night, Saturday night, Monday night. So
Okay.
doing really good, doing real well. So seeing active, pretty good deal. But that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. EMS Director Bobby Mills?
No further report.
All right. New business, I have myself, on behalf of Mr. Townsend with Special Olympics, is asking us for permission for use of the parking lot downtown. He knows it can't be the Music on the River parking lot next year, where they want to have the fire truck pull again next year. He wanted to secure his date. His date is August the 18th of 2018, and he just wanted permission to solidify that date. I'll undertake that in a form of a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion will carry. Mr. Logan Lawrence, 2018 car show.
Yep. Thank you, Mayor and Council, for allowing me to be here tonight. What I'm here for tonight is I'm hoping to move the second annual Cruising to a Cure for ALS downtown Lawrenceburg for next year. And in order for this to happen, it's going to need to be able to hold 600 cars just to be safe. Along with that request, I'm asking council for a $5,000 sponsorship, which that will cover most of my expenses, and will give the council their name on the 100 plaques that we get made, and 20 to 25 specialty trophies that we have. And also the city logo will be on all the flyers, which last year I passed out about 4,000 flyers that we went through. I'd also like to have use of the stage and the city cover portalet fees. And just a few stats from last year. We had 425 registered cars. There were approximately 5,000 people there throughout the day, which it was at the old casino parking lot, all 50. And $15,000 were raised for the ALS Association. So all of the funds that are raised are donated to the ALS Association Indiana chapter. And the date we're looking at is May 6th, 2018.
That's a Sunday, correct?
Yep, first Sunday in May. And we did have people come from Connecticut, Tennessee, Louisville, Lafayette, Indiana, Columbus, Ohio, and a lot more that were in attendance. So I feel like this could be a great community event. And even like the fast food places where we had it last year, they had over an hour wait for food. So it would help all the businesses around. And
I'd like to make a motion. We go ahead and proceed with the $5,000 donation and see if we in the portalets and see if we can accommodate this car show.
Okay. Any other questions?
Your Honor, quick question. Where do you see the show
I still need to look at parking spaces, but for sure Walnut Street and High Street, but where will the construction be?
You'll be able to go one block east or west.
Okay.
Or you go one block west, and then, because of the project be going on, but you can go
Right. And
down.
I'm pretty lenient and open to where it'll be. It just ideally holds 600 cars to be safe. Which of course it depends on the weather, on how the turnout really is.
He's gonna gauge his cars based upon yours, and for Fall Fest, you know that,
It's
right?
400 here, he's gonna have trouble parking.
There's always
We'll
another
see.
street over.
Yeah.
We had 200 some, 278, and of course we run out of parking, but the one thing is, if you close Walnut all the way down, you can use Walnut Street, because see, we couldn't utilize Walnut. 'cause of the ride.
Because of the ride.
I was thinking Walnut, heck, you're
But
from
if you
all
come all the way up
And
Walnut,
I can count the spaces if need to, or
of course you can utilize High Street east or no
Right.
west.
All the way down
to-
Walnut.
I mean, towards the courthouse.
It would be ideal if you could make a large T out of it.
Yeah.
All walnut. then-
High.
Yeah.
This is what we want, is people downtown, I mean, for events. But on a Sunday would be good for our folks
be
that are
great.
open.
Yeah, everything else.
One other question I have about the portlets, whatever's is going on with our mobile restroom.
We don't
I mean,
have
the city, well, we were supposed to share it with the city of Roy. Or Lions Club, they wanted it, but they said we could use it whenever we wanted.
I think we gifted it to them.
We gave those away, and we can ask for
I
them.
was gonna say, they said we could use it whenever we wanted, though. So if
Absolutely.
it doesn't conflict with them, would it be easier to move that down here for the one day?
Yeah, we can surely ask to do that, yeah. We can do
That'll
that.
work.
You would still have like the handicap, portlets.
We still have to get a few, but not near as many, but yeah,
Yeah.
good idea.
I think that'd be a lot nicer than the portlets.
Yeah.
A lot of people don't like portlets.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Would you mind going to Aurora and asking them?
I don't mind.
That's
I'll do
Roy
whatever it
Lions
takes.
Club, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Logan, you can
And
call
they
me,
have
I'll give you a contact.
Okay.
two of them, Tony. We only gave them one, but they said that
They had one.
they had them at the Swiss Wine Festival. They've got
They
them all
have
cleaned
three
up
of them.
and ready.
Well, there you go. If they got two of them, you may not even need no
Yeah,
portlets.
there you go.
Yeah, I think
Three?
they have.
Having it downtown, there's gonna be businesses that people will use
Right,
as well,
and
but
yeah, I'll reach out to businesses and hopefully we can work out a deal to maybe where some of the businesses would donate 5-10% of their sales for that day. So that benefits everyone.
well,
What time
the
does
motion on the
that start?
floor,
Registration will have 9 a.m. to noon. Awards will be at 4:30. So ideally,
6 to 8 is 6
if we could do
p.m.
like 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., that should be
And
good.
I've mentioned it to the event center that there's a possibility that this may come on May 6th, and
Mhm.
haven't heard that there's any conflicts.
Okay.
So,
Wonder if you could have a racing star there, you know, like a
I'm
like a
actually,
Mr. Todd.
I'm in the process. I'd love to have JR there, but they're in Atlanta that weekend.
He knows their schedule better than that.
I'm working on right now, I don't know, Street Outlaws, it's a TV show. Working on one of the guys from Oklahoma to come.
That's big.
I have someone working on that right now.
or Tony Abbott's available.
Yeah, there you go.
He's a celebrity.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there, Tony.
All right.
I'm
available, small fee.
Really, you did such a good job. I only got one problem, but when you really analyze this, I don't want to open a door. However, the difference is, and I want you guys to keep this in mind, we're going to have a lot of people ask, I think, once we do this. But the one reason, and one reason only, why I'm going to vote yes for this is because we're bringing a bunch of people downtown for a pretty good length of time, and I think it'll help the businesses. In a situation of a different sort, I'll probably vote no, because we set up a committee that everybody's supposed to go forth. So Logan, the reason why I'm going to vote yes and back Randy up for this is because I'm counting on you to put a big show down here to
That's
bring
the
all
plan.
these people down here to go
Yep,
to our
which I need the weather on my hand too, but that's the plan.
Because
Can't control the weather?
Right, it's gonna be rain or shine too, just so everyone knows.
I'll second Randy's motion.
Mel already seconded.
okay.
So the motion was Randy.
One other thing, Logan, you can do it at night, we'll have plenty of lights.
I feel like that was directed at.
We didn't hear that. Anyway, the second was by Mel. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Thank you, Logan. Let us know if, how the portalet situation goes down there.
If you need another star, you can always get your dad down here.
Yeah.
He's star.
Let us know if it stinks. All right, fun, okay. All right, next one is Mr. Weldon. This is the Riverfront Development Fund ordinance. Let me preface this by saying that what we're doing is just moving funds for the new Civic Park program. We need to move funds from the private loan fund, where we collected all this money on these loans that we called in.
Yes.
And we're moving it over to this Riverfront Development Fund, so we can start using it to pay for the project. But we had to set up an ordinance in order to do that. So that's where the money is being moved from, so everybody knows.
And once this is done, the fund will be closed, right?
That fund, the private loan fund will be
I mean,
closed.
the Riverfront Development Project, once that's done, this fund will be closed as well? Yep.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
yeah, once we're done with any project, we can close the fund out.
The other fund shouldn't be closed, should it? Because if we should get more,
Well,
we
we
still
can
have
keep
two open in court cases. I'm going, okay,
Put it in rainy day, because you can use rainy day for that kind of stuff as
Okay.
well. So,
I got one problem with it.
yep,
This riverfront development's been talked about for 12 years around here. I'd like to call it the Civic Park Fund. That way, when we're done with the Civic Park, we can end it and then start up a riverfront fund if we get to that. You brought up how you'd like it to end there. I've got a whole bunch of plans and renderings of past administrations thinking about riverfront development, so I don't necessarily like calling it the Riverfront Development Fund.
okay, well, I'm okay with calling it Civic Park Fund, we just have to get the wording changed on the ordinance. But, everybody else okay with that?
I'm fine with that.
Call it the Civic Park Fund?
I mean, that might limit the ability to spend out of it if we have other projects.
Well, that's okay, because there's gonna be enough money in there. There's not gonna be, based upon, we haven't seen any numbers yet, but if we have to, we can move it out into rainy day.
Okay.
I mean, as long as everybody knows that, right? Am I saying this right, Brittany?
Well, I have a question. Right now, we had said, once riverfront development projects are done, the money will go to Riverboat. So once Civic Park project is done,
It can go to
where do you want
Riverboat.
this money to go? Riverboat
Well, that's fine. Is that what the ordinance says through the,
currently?
yeah.
But if we change it, we'd have to change everything.
It would go to rainy day, wouldn't it?
No, right now it goes from, we're taking all the money out of the loan fund, closing it out, making this new Riverfront Development Fund, and then once we're done with all of our riverfront development projects, then we would close that and it would go into the Riverboat Fund. The couple loans that still are out there, once they pay, that goes into rainy day. That's how this is all structured, so there's multiple layers to it.
It's all city money.
If we're fortunate enough to go over top of the levee and develop the riverfront, it's gonna be a long, long process, and chances are we ain't gonna be around to see it finished. I mean, I'll, if this up for motion and take a vote, if anybody has it, I'll wait here for a motion. It's up to you guys.
Well, we can, I mean, I think the talk is, okay, I don't think the problem is changing it to the Civic Park Fund. We just gotta know, at the end of that project, if there's $1 million left, everybody knows it's going back into Riverboat, not into rainy day. Everybody hears that? It's on this too? Everybody hears it, right? Brittany, I know will remember. She's got a steel trap up there. But anyway, okay, so let's go, if we can, let's have a first reading of the Civic Park Fund ordinance.
Well, if we're gonna change it, I'd rather table it and change, make the change, just to make sure everything matches up and, because we've
On the
got,
wording?
yeah, and I mean, we could do it at the next meeting, it wouldn't put us behind on anything.
Yeah, we're not paying anything right now out of it that I'm aware of.
So we're gonna change it, I would just change it and get with Brittany and make sure we both like it, and Tyler likes it, and I'll bring it back for the next one, if you guys wanna change it.
I'll take a motion to table it.
I think we hurt his feelings.
My feelings are hurt, I thought we were getting a pier and a Ferris wheel.
Ferris wheel.
Yeah, he's in Santa
I
Monica.
move we table this motion till legal gets all the appropriate titles changed in the ordinance.
All right, I'll entertain a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? See what you did, Seymour? Okay.
Old business noise.
That motion carries. All right, let's move on to
We always talk about.
old business. Noise ordinance, how about that one? We're gonna change the name of that one?
Yeah, anti.
Anti-noise, so this would be
Anti-noise.
7, Tyler? Okay,
you're
thank you.
And this is the whole ordinance, the only thing that changes the times, right?
Yes,
Okay.
and so I'll go through just the highlights, and if it pleases the Common Council, and if it pleases your honor, what we have before us is ordinance which is designated number 7-2017, amendment to ordinance title 9, chapter 94.3 et al. Of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances, and repeal any similar prior ordinances. So what this ordinance proposes to do, and is up for consideration tonight, is to wholly replace what is known now as Chapter 94.3, which is our current noise ordinance, and replace it in its entirety with a new structure for controlling noise in the city limits of Lawrenceburg proper. And what I've done here is compiled the input from all of you as council members, and that input was fueled also by public comment and needs. Obviously, the biggest concern is to make our citizens safe from unreasonable noise, but also to allow our businesses and our entertainment ventures to be successful, and I think we accomplished both here. One of the key changes is to create a reasonableness standard rather than a decibel standard. Our past ordinance called for a certain level of decibels, which created a problem with enforcement because that didn't contemplate where it would be read from and maybe issues with the machine. So this creates a reasonableness standard that will be enforced by our police as well as the mayor and any designees and our building department, our code enforcement department. And it defines in here the what is reasonable, what is unreasonable, and so that for the offenses it outlaws unreasonable noise in general, and that's Chapter A, that gives the definition, but then also specifically goes on to regulate noise from watercrafts and boats, any devices attached to a motor vehicle, so that contemplates the radio, the muffler, and also the horn. Also, Chapter 91.37, Part D, makes it unlawful to use and operate between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. Lawnmowers, weed blowers, garden tractors, construction and repair equipment, go-karts, generators, power tools, or any other tool or equipment used in construction, drilling, or demolition, and other similar items or equipment that cause unreasonable noise. And Part E makes it unlawful to participate in any party or gathering between the hours of 9 p.m. and 7 a.m. that gives rise to unreasonable noise and audible from a residential zone or residential dwelling. And then F, it's unlawful to harbor or keep any animal that creates unreasonable noise. 94.38 are the exemptions, so any, essentially any government or city sanctioned activity could be and would be exempt from that, as well as emergency vehicles, burglar alarms, car alarms, city or government entities, parades, festivals, carnivals, fairs, celebrations, etc. Sounds admitted for the purposes of alerting persons to emergencies or the testing of that equipment. The speedway, the fairgrounds, and the motorcycle track pursuant to their individual regulations. Any other general applicable law that governs city, county, state, and federal streets and highways, operation of aircraft, snow and ice removal, and snow and ice prevention equipment, emergency generators in the event of a power failure, and then the testing and maintenance of those systems. Construction or road work approved by the city or governmental entity. Train horns required by law. Lawful use of fireworks. Animals that are lawfully used by a disabled person or to accommodate that person's disability. Churches, church bells. City rubbish collection. Non-amplified crowd noises regarding from legal gatherings, so long as the noise is not violative of other law and is limited to the hours of 9 p.m. to 7 a.m. unless a special permit is obtained. And then F, or P rather, which would probably be of most interest to our local businesses in the entertainment district, especially noises arising from entertainment at a commercial business in a commercial zone, or noises arising from entertainment at an event in a public place with special permission of the Common Council according to the following schedule. From the hours of 5 p.m. to midnight on Friday and 1 p.m. to midnight on Saturday, and then during the hours of 1 p.m. to midnight on St. Patrick's Day, Memorial Day, Independence Day, Labor Day, and then between 5 p.m. And 1 a.m. on New Year's Eve. So that kind of delineates when entertainment can be held and is exempt rather from the general noise prohibitions. 94.39 allows for special permits to be applied for and granted, and it gives the process for doing that. 94.4 gives the penalties and enforcement, sets out, again, as stated earlier, the way that it's enforced by the Lawrenceburg Police Department and our code enforcement office, and also the mayor as a designee, or his designee, or her designee. And then it sets out a fine schedule. It allows repeat violators to be prohibited from having music entertainment or loud entertainment. And then it also sets out and delineates the process for that enforcement with the city court, and then a process of being able to appeal that judgment if there is a judgment or a fine taken against the person. It states that not only is the proprietor of the establishment liable, but also the property owner. So potentially the bar owner could be cited as well as the person who's running the bar, essentially. So this is, again, a culmination from direction from you guys, most importantly, but also from input from the community and the business owners. And then I took guidance from multiple other cities in the state of Indiana, Indianapolis, Bloomington, Fishers, to kind of see what they did. And this was a kind of collaborative effort, and this is the result. And I think it is much, much better than the current noise ordinance.
Better known as Ordinance 7-2017, right?
That's right, Your Honor. And with right now, I would open it up to questions and comments, and then we get to the first reading.
Questions? Okay, if not, I'll entertain we did the first reading.
Yes, sir, we did. I just asked for.
I would ask to suspend the rule, a motion to suspend the rules and do the second reading of Ordinance 7-2017.
So moved.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Please read Ordinance 7-2017 by title only for the second reading, please.
Yes, sir, Your Honor. Ordinance number 7-2017, an amendment to Ordinance Title 9, Chapter 94.3, add all of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances and to repeal any similar prior ordinances.
All those in favor of the second reading of Ordinance 7-2017, signify by saying aye.
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 Opposed? The motion will carry.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And I need a motion to suspend the rules for the third and final reading of Ordinance 7-2017.
So moved.
Second? Did I hear a second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. I need to please read the third and final reading of Ordinance 7-2017 by title only.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ordinance number 7-2017, an amendment to Ordinance Title 9, Chapter 94.3, add all of the Lawrenceburg Code of Ordinances and to repeal any similar prior ordinances.
Need a motion to accept the third and final reading of Ordinance 7-2017.
Moved.
Second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Thank you.
Thank you.
I have no other old business. If not, I'll entertain comments from the audience. Sim Vincent says, "I've heard enough." Mooch, we've heard enough.
I just want to,
Congratulate us or
go back to Tony's great works of art around the city and everything.
Uh-huh.
And up on Pribble Circle now, since Pribble Road is shut down from Pribble Circle to 48, we have probably 10 times more traffic on Pribble Circle. There's a bunch of small children up there that are always out riding their bikes. And people, once they round that corner right there by my house, they think it's a drag strip.
You want plastic or asphalt?
I seriously would like to see something that would slow them down or blow their tires out for one of them kids to get run over.
What if we, in lieu of putting speed bumps in throughout the whole city, what if we set somebody up there for a period of time?
That'd be fine.
Especially during this construction, because I think that's when you're seeing it, right? Am I correct? I mean, that's when I saw it when I was lived on, but does that make sense?
Yeah. Anything that would deter them from coming around that corner where all them kids are at.
Right.
Because then, the other day I was out there and I heard this car come around there and you could hear him nail it. And then I heard tires squealing and I looked up the street and one of them little kids was coming out into the street and scared them and they turned real quick, but if they had come on out, that car had no way to stop them.
Yeah.
And if there's any way to just set them up there, they can set in my driveway, I don't care. Just something to, just
do that.
slow them down.
Okay.
You know, word get out.
I'm gonna say, if that don't work, Marty said they do got a bunch of those ones, temporary ones, until that
Oh, is it
construction.
temporary?
Yeah, until that construction's done.
I mean, let's see if that works. If it doesn't,
Just,
we'll do something a little more drastic.
because right now, like I say, we're
We
getting,
don't want anybody getting hit.
something must have happened on Indiana 1 the other day, because when I come home from work and turned onto the street, it was backed up all the way.
Oh, really?
Or past my driveway, and somebody let me in.
Okay. Thanks, Mitch.
I got one other thing, Your Honor.
Yes.
Our infamous dog park that we named after Gus belongs to Lee here.
Yeah.
Gus passed away.
I heard that tonight.
Our condolences.
We're sorry about that, Lee. Yes, we are.
He'll live on. Gus's dog park.
Yeah. That's right. Good. Thank you for reminding me about that, Tony. Any other comments? All right, if not, I have one advance payment for approval. This was in lieu of this for the Hickory House Barbecue, partial payment based upon the receipts that we had in hand for $25,387.58 is what they've received thus far. Just want to make you guys aware of that. We need a motion to approve that advance payment.
So moved.
Second?
I'll second it.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion carries. Then I'll entertain a motion to approve the claims.
So move.
Second?
Now, except for the one that he wanted held off?
Sorry, that was right back in the
Okay, that's
bill
not
of
in it,
warrants.
okay.
Yeah.
All right.
This is for us.
I second.
Hickory House, why isn't that a redevelopment?
Well, we just approved we got to approve the money they got to put forth.
It's come out of redevelopment.
It's advance payment. That's the only reason. Yeah.
On the advance payment.
On that first check we had to, because we paid it in advance.
Well, not really.
Well, we did.
We gave them a deal that when they got their C of O, we made a deal. They got their C of O, they're open. Not an advance payment.
Well, we have to have it approved by you guys, though. I can't just write a check. I mean, I want people to, they got to know whenever a check goes out, I want it approved, so.
Well, that's fine, I just kinda wondering why we ain't paid them the whole deal yet.
As soon as we get all their receipts, and they're working on that, I've talked to both of them.
When they come in and bring you all the receipts, and
Yes.
when the shopping center guy comes in.
Yep.
For the damn near $900,000, is
Yes.
he gonna bring you that many receipts for backup?
That wasn't part of his deal. Having two
Okay.
anchor tenants Part of his deal was having 2 anchor tenants down there with certificate of occupancies was the deal for that particular project.
Okay.
I mean, do you know something with these 2 people that I don't know? I talked to them.
I just wanted, you know, it's just, I was sitting in the front row, I heard the deal. Just don't want it to be hard, we need to be partners.
Well, they're gonna get
Okay,
their money,
all right.
so. Anyway, can I, did we vote on the claims? Hey, you screwed me up.
I made the motion to do it.
You probably make the motion.
I made the motion,
Approve the claims. Who made the second?
Randy second. Randy second.
Randy, you seconded?
Yes.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That motion will carry. I need a motion to leave.
Motion to adjourn, yeah.
Second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion will carry. Thanks, everybody, for putting up with us.
I guess there was one other place for me to sign on here.
Oh.
Thank you.
Got it.
Joey second.
No.
Can't Tyler give a copy of yours?
I may have one here.
I only had the original, Joe, I'd give you mine.
I'll text you a little bit.
Where'd
she go? You got one?
There you go. All right. I got it. You got it.
Yeah,
They will be.
they are.
I think all of ours are.
Seriously, no.
We're
Say 9 or 10.
before it's what? 9, I'm sure. Is that gonna work for you or not?
She would love that.
I've got 9.
I'll give her one.
9 o'clock. And if you got to change, we can do it the following week. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Just Michigan. For a couple of days.
Yeah.
So, I don't fish. I mean, I've
Just for when a dog's charged with a crime.
I mean, I'm not a fisherman.
I like that.
Let's put it that way.
I like that. I'm gonna use that.
For the last meeting,
Yeah, thank you, Bill. I'll give it to Nancy, show up.
Yes, we did. It's not a fishing tournament. It's a fishing expo up here at the event center, 3rd week of January. You'll like that.
expo, like,
140 vendors.
Vendors, suppliers.
shop comes in.
Bass University is going to be here.
Oh, I gotta get on the
It's gonna be cool.
I know you are. That's what I said. You'll like that. Oh, you're welcome, Lee. Sorry for your loss, babe.
Yeah. Miss Gus, he's famous now. He's immortal.
How you doing?
He'll always be there at the park. That's pretty cool.
We'll find
I love that, on the rock. It's neat. Have a great night.
Yes. Yeah, they need it?
Use that parking lot there?
Oh, we can use parking lot, for sure.
Because like, I don't know, Sharonville does a big show. Where they basically shut down the majority of